Hey guys, Tara here. I'm going to experiment with some things this year, and as always, you're going to be my co-creators with this experiment. The first thing I'm going to experiment with content-wise this year is with doing a weekly message to the school, to Soul Tour and all of the members and students of our School of Life Mastery, Self-Mastery, Money Mastery, and Business Mastery. All right, so what I wanted to do this week, so this is for the week of January 8th, 2023. January 2024. And I was picking up a little bit of the conversational threads that were happening on WhatsApp. I saw someone expressing, I can't think of who, I'm sorry, someone new expressing that they were having a hard time building the daily ritual habit. I'm actually in development on like this whole daily ritual starter kit that will hopefully help even more than the materials that we provide you with now. But I thought that that would be a good topic for us to talk about this week because a lot of us are trying to create a lot of new habits at the beginning of the year, whether they are healthy habits, wealthy habits, rituals. My life is a life of ritual, full of rituals. My days are full of rituals. Whether it's, manifestation rituals, or whether there's a whole new reality you're trying to create. Whether, whatever it is, whether maybe you're building relationships or trying to self-value more, create a self-valuing way of being more. So the two things that I'm going to do in this weekly message are, I'm actually going to kind of just talk to you a little free form about what I do when I want to create a new habit. And I think I shot a quick video of me unboxing some of the items that I invested in this year for my health. And as I was unboxing, I was talking a lot about my approach to habit formation and habit creation. And so I wanted to share that with you too. I will also say that there is many of you have heard of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. Many of you told me that it was a great book and I should read it, and I didn't read it, and I didn't read it, and I didn't read it, and then finally I read it, and then I was like, this feels so familiar to me. And then at the end of the book, he thanks me because he and I had this like long conversation leading up to the book, where he'd actually run the draft of the book past me and I give him a bunch of feedback on it. And so I do recommend that book. I recommend that book mostly on the strategy side of things. That book is a great book for helping you understand the nuts and bolts of like psychological and behavioral habit formation. We're going to talk about that as integrated with spiritual, right? Because that's what we do at Soul Tour, spirit and strategy. All right, so what do I do when I want to create a habit? And I just was, if you're not on the WhatsApp group, you should be. Email support@soultour.com and get on it. Whoever this was someone else in the group had asked, like, what is it that's a problem for you? What piece of it is a problem for you, or what comes up for you when you try to do it? And she said, like, she just had a lot of inner resistance to it, right? And it reminded me of the phenomenon of reverse bedtime procrastination. Reverse bedtime procrastination is when you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock every night, but actually you go to bed at 1 o'clock a.m. in the next morning every night. And the reason that people do that is because they feel very out of control of their time during most of their waking lives. And so there's like the inner wild child rebels against the attempt at an enforced bedtime, and is just like, no, this is the thing I can, you need power. Humans need power and sovereignty. All right. When I'm training a new carer with London, I'm constantly reminding them she has a deep and pervasive need for autonomy and power. So what I do intentionally is fill her up with power. I think of her as like as a little sovereignty parking meter. I know that she's going to go to school, and all day people are going to tell her to do stuff. When you're a little kid, people tell you to do stuff a lot, all day. And she has a pervasive need for power, as do you. So you got to fill yourself up with your parking meter for personal power and sovereignty and control over your life, control over your time, control over not being demanded and upon, not having demands from outside imposed upon you, pulling you in all different directions. Part of why we do the daily ritual, and I recommend that you do it in the morning, is so that you can pour into yourself. You can feed your own power and parking meter before anybody else gets to you, before anybody else is telling you what to do. It's the one time of day, especially if you do it early in the morning, like I do and like I recommend, that it's just you and source. That's it. And you get to make this ritual. So that's the reason we do it, is actually to dial up your own level of sovereignty and personal control and personal power over your time, to give you some solitude so that you're not waking up and rolling into the day where people are demanding upon you. All right. So sovereignty matters. And what's happening, for if you're struggling with inner resistance to the ritual, is something is happening where your narrative, the way you've branded and framed this ritual, is not about you giving yourself the gift of sovereignty and the gift of time and the gift of silence and the gift of solitude and the gift of a settled nervous system. It feels still like a chore that's being imposed from the outside. It feels still like something that a box you have to check to be compliant with, right? And whenever that happens, there's going to be an inner battle between your inner wild child, your inner rebel, and your inner like dictator. That's gonna be like, no, you're supposed to do it this way, which is often the voice of your inner critic. So I want you to get your sovereignty back. Now, for some of you, it might just be enough that I've already said the whole point of this ritual is for you to have sovereignty over this one bucket of time in your day, so that you get to spend it by yourself, cocoon within yourself, pour into yourself, settle your nervous system, slow your thoughts, open yourself up to receive whatever divine downloads want to come to you through spirit, source, God, all that is, and gather up the energy and inner resources and inner clarity to take the natural next steps and to know what the natural next steps are. All right, so for some of you, that's enough, all right? For others, you might have to really, really remind yourself why we do this ritual, why you have chosen to do this ritual, all right? You have to deactivate the inner conflict. Like, honestly, for someone who's really experiencing a lot of resistance to it, I would say don't do it. Like, drop the rope in the inner tug of war, and like, ideally know that at some point I'm going to want you to let your big self win. But maybe you're having resistance to the length of the ritual. Maybe you're having resistance to the substance of the ritual. Can you give yourself the gift of some ritual in the morning, some time in solitude in the morning? Some like an inner retreat that you get to take, you and your God self every day, for the purpose of, solitude and gathering your own energies back from being dispersed out all into the world and constantly demanded upon. Okay. Now, for if you fall into that last group where it's not enough for me to tell you this is a sovereignty ritual, you may need to really tune into why we decide to do this ritual in the first place, and remind yourself why you personally decide you want to do this. We do this ritual to recalibrate our nervous systems, okay? From the phenomenon of hypervigilance, especially if you're core transit trauma, or if you have any trauma in your history, from the phenomenon of constantly being in reaction mode because many of us, especially if you live in the States, live in a life where there are constant demands on your time. Work demands, financial demands, family demands, calendar demands. There's constantly something, bills, whatever it is, right? We do this ritual to recalibrate that, to take a sacred pause from all of that, right? Get out of reaction mode, recalibrate our nervous system, and give ourselves a chance to tap back into our natural strengths and powers, all right? That's why we do this. So that may be you have to tune into why you're doing it. I don't think you should ever add a habit or a ritual or a task to your daily task list without knowing why you're doing it and feeling in your soul and spirit that you're excited to do it because it's a gift you're giving yourself, the gift of relief from this being pulled in all directions all the time, the gift of relief from, being constantly in reaction mode. All right. It should feel like this daily ritual should feel like a gift you're giving yourself. And if it doesn't, then you need to work with either the ritual or your thinking about the ritual and the narrative you're telling yourself about the ritual to make sure that it does feel like a gift you're giving yourself before you are asking yourself to do it, okay? So some of you will do it just to recalibrate your nervous system. Some will do it to heal your nervous system from a state of constant hypervigilance. We've had people say that they thought they had ADHD until they started doing a daily ritual and they realized they just were living a life in reaction mode. Some of y'all are here and will do this daily ritual because you're tired of self-sabotaging. You're tired of living a life that's not the life you were born to live. You're tired of having things that are important to you that you can't seem to find the energy, the time, the clarity, the follow through to do. Maybe you're tired of not fulfilling your potentials. Maybe you're tired of not fulfilling your dreams. This daily ritual is a huge part of the recalibration stage of the method that I teach, created, and have proven time and time again will get you to being your big self, doing your big dreams, fulfilling your potentials before you die, and doing it joyfully, all right? Some of you will do it because you just need to heal from scarcity, fear, unworthiness, or trauma. Some of you will do it because you just desire a tranquil life and you've never had that. You desire inner peace. This ritual cultivates that. Some of you just want to be more clear-minded and catch your downloads, right? Know what your natural next steps are. So if any of those, for somebody out there, one of those things might spark something in you that's like, oh, this is why I'm doing this. This makes this a gift I'm giving myself. And that might make it feel way easier to do it. The only way you can really do daily ritual wrong, like I don't care if you baby step into it. I don't care if you only do one part of the 4-part ritual. I don't care if you use some other app and do that like every day. Whatever floats your boat, do that. What I do care about is that, and hey, like I have optimized this ritual to be very synergistic with a lot of the other parts of the method that I teach. So, if you're going to be in the program and you want to be all in the program and you want to make the most of the program, do the ritual as I send it to you. But if you're some people need to really baby step themselves into it, and that gets to be okay. We are creating whole lives and new operating systems for our lives that are congruent with how we are wired and designed uniquely, radically accepting and accommodating that and celebrating that. So if you're a person who needs to just do one part of the ritual, or you need to just sit in silence for 5 minutes and that's all you got, that gets to be fine. Do not rush or judge or track your progress in this ritual. Count it as a win every day you wake up and spend 1 minute in silence. All right, and then maybe add a minute, and then maybe add a minute, and then maybe in a week, you give yourself the practice part of the ritual. And then, you know what I mean? Just like let yourself baby step into it. Whatever you do, don't make it a chore and don't tell yourself that you're behind or that you're bad or that you're doing it wrong, okay? Because that's the fastest way to make it just be like another task of this freaking culture. My job is to get you off the treadmill of checking the boxes that say you have to do this to be successful. This is not a check the box thing. This is a gift you are giving yourself that is ultimately, when we're doing it right, so delicious you'll take it everywhere with you in the world. When you go on vacation, you will be thrilled and excited to do it on the beach everywhere in the world. Or I know I used to travel a lot in like in the cities in Europe, and I would be in like Paris in a little old hotel, and I'd be the only one in the like atrium at 4 a.m. just sitting in silence. And I remember so clearly actually being there and in Barcelona where the staff would be like, ma'am, are you okay? And I'd be like, y'all have no idea how okay I'm like the most okay of anyone you've ever met. So it's meant to be a delicious gift. I want you to think about it this way. So in spirituality and in psychedelic, like plant medicine worlds, we think a lot about set and setting. Your intention, like setting an intention for it. Why are you doing this? right? How can you be on purpose with why you're doing this so that you get results from it that you love? And setting, set and setting. So intention set, that's all of the whys we just talked about. And setting, which is like your actual surroundings, and equipment, okay? So just know when I'm giving myself a new habit that I'd like to form, I make that shit so delicious. I mean, it's like I almost can't wait to get to it. I make it lavish. Now, like I am eating a carnivore diet right now to heal my autoimmune condition, okay? I eat like, and that sounds very restrictive to some people, but I'm like, the way I do it, you'll have no idea. And before that, I eat a no starch diet generally. London eats a gluten-free diet. I've had to make it really sexy. And I do that by controlling our ingredients and controlling and cooking. And I've made cooking into a delightful experience. I cook a lot, like 8 hours a week probably. So not every day of the week, like just in chunks. So I find the best grass-fed lamb chops, cocheletas de borrego, we say in Portuguese, and the best Himalayan salt, and I have the best equipment, the Moulinex blender, the steamer. Very, very often what I see is people saying, hey, I really want to build this habit, so I'm going to white knuckle it for a month, and if I do it for a month, I'll reward myself with good equipment. And I think that works exactly backwards. What I do is if I want to set the habit, I want to make it, the process of it needs to be joyful, not the outcome. So if you want to work out, don't wait for a month and then go buy good workout clothes. Go buy good workout clothes that you love to wear now, and it will make your habit much more likely to stick. When I wanted to start cooking a ton for ourselves, I bought the Moulinex blender, the beautiful steamer, the yogurt maker, the dehydrator, all of the stuff. So it's super fun and delightful to do the process of cooking, not just to get to the outcome. Okay, so how does this apply to your daily ritual? I want you to invest in the beautiful candles, the ones that just smell perfect to you, not too, if it smells at all too sweet to you or too whatever, too floral for you, it ain't it. It needs to be the one. I want you to invest in a Bluetooth speaker if you need it, and the one. Or invest some time in figuring out how to play it on your smart TV, like Nick Frick does. Invest in, a PEMF mat for healing your body while you're in your daily ritual if you want. Invest in the stuff, invest in journals that feel delicious to you. Whatever that is for you. I use a huge hardcover journal. Some people love a little journal that they can carry around with them. Whatever it is. Invest in cups, cups for your tea that you love and are beautiful. Invest in tea that you love and is beautiful. Get the water bottle to have next to you that is exactly for you. Get the right stuff so that it feels like a gift you're giving yourself, so that the process of doing your ritual feels like a gift you're giving yourself, so you're looking forward to doing the process, not looking forward to checking the box off. All right. When I started Pilates, I just was okay, mostly I'm geared up for this, but I needed a good bodysuit, and I needed good socks with the stickies on the bottom. So it can be a small thing. It could be get good warm socks. It can be a full-blown cashmere blanket. It could be, a place in your home that you set up for this. Invest some time and energy in that, in making the process feel lavish and the process feel like a gift you're giving yourself, so that you're looking forward to doing it. And then, and decide when you're gonna do it. So most of us are living on a kind of calendar autopilot. Your life is already full of stuff. You've decided that you want to add this ritual in that may take you 20 minutes or may take you an hour a day. When you're in your waking hours, decide when you're going to do it. Are you going to do it at 5 a.m.? Then you need to probably go to bed a little bit earlier. Okay? Plan that out. Give some thought to it. Part of ritual and part of living a life of ritual is investing time and energy in the set and setting. And the setting includes when are you going to do it, and what other thing that is currently filling that time that you need to move intentionally out of the way so you can be on purpose with what you're doing for that hour. And let me tell you something. if you start the process of doing that with your ritual, where you're like, I choose this hour of the day to be very intentional with my time, to do a thing that I choose to do for me, for the purpose of this set. Here's the setting and set up I'm giving myself. And here's what I'm no longer going to be doing during that time. Okay? Like, I'm no longer going to be scrolling during that time. I'm no longer going to be pressing snooze during that time. I'm no longer, whatever it is, right? I'm no longer going to be sleeping during that time, and set things up accordingly. If you do that with this, it is the best ever practice and precedent you can set for yourself to continue expanding that level of intentionality throughout your day. So that over time, you know, you may have another thing you want to add on. Maybe you want to cook more for yourself. Maybe you want to take a 10,000 step walk every morning before you go to work. Maybe you want to write for an hour a day, right? Learn how to, what we're doing right now is you are experimenting with how you can reclaim intentionality and reclaim sovereignty over your time and your energy and your life force, hour by hour. And soon you'll feel like me, which is that like my whole day is kind of intentional. Even my relaxation time is intentional. Even my socialization time is intentional. All right. For some of you, you may need to engage. If you have any fear that comes up about being still for that long, or, you know, shadow stuff that may come up, I encourage, you know, I use the idea of engaging wholeheartedly with the subject of your fear as an antidote to fear. You may want to make a study of it. Make a study of meditation, make a study of daily ritual, make a study of ritual practice, consume content about it, read and listen to things that make it more likely that you will do this practice and love it. And take baby steps if you need to. All right? Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff happening this week. This week is Spark Week, so I'm going to try to go live every day this week with a little short message about something. Sometimes with friends, sometimes on my own. Today is Monday, January 8th. I will be on our Momentum Monday with Coach Keisha today at noon Pacific time, 8 p.m. my time. Later this week, I have a live session for y'all. I think it's on, let me just check. I think it's on Thursday. We're going to kick off our Radical Health Academy with a little ceremony and live ritual. And if you're in coaching with me, I'll see you, many of you I'll see this week. I have a very full coaching calendar this week, which is great. All right, guys, I love you. Keep your head up and your heart out. I will see you at Momentum Monday later today.